because I like woke up naturally from the sun. It wasn't an alarm that woke me up. And I just got to go through like my full morning routine and it was super relaxing. And so I hope your day is going the same. Anyways, I am going to just like hop right in. If this is your first time seeing me around, hi, my name is Janae. And fun fact about me is I love to nerd out on how your mind works. If you are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Ooh, I got that arrow right this time. Anyways, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell so that you can get notified whenever new videos come on. And if you are not watching on YouTube and you're watching somewhere else, probably Facebook, then you can head over to my channel if you like this at the end. Because sometimes Facebook is weird about videos and like notifications. So there's that. All right, today we're going to be talking about becoming who you are meant to be. And I feel like this topic is such a huge, like, transformational one to dive into. And so I'm super excited to talk to you about it. So the first thing that I want to start off by saying is technically to say becoming who you are meant to be, it's almost like the wrong name to use because a lot of it is really about unbecoming everything that you have been told who you are. So I'm just going to dive into like some things I want to dive into and we're just going to see where it goes. So the first thing when it comes to unbecoming who you are in order to become who you've always been, the most important thing is to release the fear of not meeting other people's expectations of who they think you should be. I'll say it again. The first step is to release the fear of not meeting other people's expectations of who they think you should be. And this one is probably the first and the biggest thing that will hold you back when you have finally like had the idea and that light bulb go off to say like, hey, I don't really like what I'm doing currently. And I think I want to change it up completely, because the fact is if you've ever heard that crabs in a bucket analogy, this is literally the best symbol for like what this number one step actually means. It is so often that, growing up and just in the coming of an adulthood and coming, what career do you want to have? Who do you want to be in the world? We are constantly being conditioned. This is what you should do for X, Y, and Z reasons. And I call that like shitting yourself. And we get shitted on by other people constantly to the point where we actually forget who it is that we want to be ourselves. And we fully decide to take on the identity that other people have created by us. Hey, Martina. And so this is something that is literally one of the reasons why most of the times when we first have that light bulb moment, we actually question ourselves to the point where we almost talk ourselves out of what it is that we really want to do. And so I think that when it comes to this, it's really important for you to just go ahead and start releasing that fear and start like releasing your need to be validated by anybody else. And I also just have to go ahead and say this of where is it that they could be coming from. It is very, very common for people to be triggered, especially when they see someone stepping out of the mold that we were always told we should be. It is very triggering for people to see people doing things differently because it really reminds them of what they are afraid of doing themselves. When you think of haters, when you think of people who gossip about other people, it's all coming back to that fundamental thing of, hey, I see you, you're doing something different. Maybe it's something that deep down inside I really want to do, but I'm afraid to, or I've been told no, or I don't think I'm able to do it. And instead of them doing that inner self work, it's so much easier to just talk crap. And so I want you to be aware of when you're going through that process of releasing the fear, you may come up against people who are going to say things. And also just understand that, where they're at is just not the place that you are in, and that your own development is really about you moving forward in the best way possible for you. All right, the next one is to give yourself space to breathe. Because let's be honest, once we decide to completely change up what we're doing, whether that is professionally or just how we're showing up in the world in general, it's going to feel sometimes like we are lost because you have to think about this just like super realistically. If you've gone years and years of living in a way that felt comfortable, in a way that you fit into the exact mold, you fit into the box, you have assumed the full identity, you have assumed the beliefs associated with, you are demonstrating the behaviors that go along with that. And so when you decide, like, I'm going to switch this up, you may not even be sure what it is that you think you are meant to do or how you should be doing now, because there's so much conditioning that you have to unlayer. So honestly, just give yourself space to explore, because it will come with time. But you have to undo all of those years of learning, and we cannot expect for that to be like so quick because it didn't happen that instantly that we became who we are showing up as today. And just for perspective, I can tell you a little bit of my story of how I got to this place now. So I went to school to become an engineer because at the time I was like, math and science, great. I don't want to teach. This is fantastic. It was the best idea that I had at the time. After college, I kind of like just did the thing, start working, all the normal things that people do. And I realized like there's a lot more that feels like it's missing. Like it doesn't feel fully fulfilling to just be doing this. And I honestly cannot imagine being here for 40 years and then deciding to like live out my life the last 20, however I designed it to be. So then I decided like, oh, I really love yoga. Maybe I'll become a yoga teacher. And I thought that that would be like an awesome thing to do. Once I did that, I discovered that really yoga was something that I loved for myself in terms of my own healing journey that I went on with my back. We could talk about that another day, but it was really something that while I do love teaching and all of that, it's really not my main focus. And after that, I decided like, oh, well, somatic practices have helped me a ton in my journey. Maybe that's what I want to do instead. And so I started to learn about those. And then I was like, maybe it's life balance. So you can see, right? Like this was not at all like, it was like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Nope. And then after that, once I discovered like, oh, this is how you can actually help other people create life balance, I had this huge aha moment where it's not that people don't have goals, or maybe they don't, but they can create them. And it's not even that they need necessarily action steps to get there. It's so much deeper of what actually makes it such that someone can have a goal, they could have action steps, still not have the behavior, still not have the thoughts, still not have the beliefs to actually make it happen and have it be sustainable, which is why I decided to learn about subconscious mind work, all of that stuff. I share that to say this. It was all about me being willing to explore and not feeling like a failure for trying something and then pivoting. Because pivoting is something that's going to be necessary, especially because most things aren't a direct shot. Okay, I think you get it. Another thing that I want to add in here is just because you are good at something does not mean that is what you are meant to be doing. For the longest time, I thought that's how it was. I was like, if I'm naturally good at something, that just means that that's exactly what I'm meant to be doing. But then I realized in that exact same moment, man, this is not lighting me up. I don't feel super passionate about this. This is not fulfilling. I'm not waking up in the morning and thinking like, wow, I can't wait to do this thing that I happen to be good at. And so just be aware that while you're on that journey of really figuring out like, who are you meant to be? And that's really a question that only you can answer, that you are not just defaulting and you are not just settling on the first thing that you think you're good at if that doesn't feel like a full body yes for you. Okay, if you have any questions as I'm talking, make sure to put them in the chat and I will get to them as I go. Another thing that I want to say is becoming who you are meant to be. You may not have full clarity on who exactly that person is. The first thing that I had was more of a clarity of like, what traits would I have? What characteristics would I have? How would I show up in the world? And it's kind of ironic that I'm wearing this shirt today, this sweatshirt that says I am. And that is a great way to start, is really starting to identify yourself as the person who you want to be and to really start stepping into it in that way. So I hope that this has been super helpful for you, because I feel like I would have loved to have someone to kind of be there to say like, hey, you're going to face this fear. It's going to happen. And the sooner that you can get over it, the better you will be for it, because you're not going to please everyone along the way. That's exactly what got you in the place of where you are right now. It's just not going to happen. So step into your light and just like fully embody who it is that you want to be, because literally the only thing that changes who you are in the future is what you do today and what you do going forward from today. So if you like this and you are not already in the free community, feel free to hop on in over there. We have trainings, we have techniques, we have all the things to help you be set up for success of who you are meant to be. And if you are already in that group, make sure you check it out. There's already a free hypnosis in there for you to be well on your way. So I will see you next time. Bye.